The GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the station of decapitation without your head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the GoreCast Unplugged featuring original versus remake. It's not a Tuesday; it's a Wednesday, and
kind of weird.
We had to shift this to Tuesday or Wednesday because Johnny and the Giz had to record an interview with the person behind American Horrors, which will be on this Monday over on American Horrors for the American Horror Memorial Day special. So check that out this coming Monday. But other than that, we are business as usual tonight, just on a different night. So we got original versus remake. The Last House on the Left. It's going to be a tough one just because this is a movie. Like I was watching it because I haven't seen it in a long time, both of them, and I'm like especially the original.
See, this is the first time I've ever caught the original, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the original. I don't even remember how long. I actually bought it on DVD like 10 plus years ago, and I remember seeing it first over on the Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments, which is like 2004, I think, and like that was the first time that I saw a lot of like movies that I didn't really like, non-mainstream movies, because I was at the time more of a mainstream horror guy. So I was watching that, and it was one of the movies that popped up, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I bought it, I watched it, and then I think I watched it once and never watched it again, because I was like, it's not one that's easy to go back to on multiple viewings.
No, definitely not.
So we will definitely get into our thoughts more once we go over the films in a bit here. How you doing tonight, this fine Wednesday evening?
Dragging ass a little bit, but other than that, doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I had a couple of pre-shots before the show, so I think the alcohol's getting a little bit warm in my chest. And
I saved mine before the show.
I had a prior thing that kind of freaked me out a bit, so I needed my nerves to be calmed down a little bit. So consider them calm.
There you go.
So, but we do have a few news bits to go over tonight before we get into our original versus remake. And one of them is David Arquette is returning to the Scream franchise.
God.
I didn't know the Scream franchise was still a thing, but
dude, no, I didn't either.
It has been reported.
6?
Yes, maybe 5. I don't know. I think it's 5 because there was the trilogy, and the 4th one came out like a while later, I think. Okay, yeah, so it's going on to 5 now. That's what I thought. I've only seen the first 2. I saw bits and pieces of 3, and I never watched 4.
Man, I finally made it through them, but I just think it kind of went on a little too long.
Yeah, I do remember that like Jay and Silent Bob were in the 3rd one, and that was the only reason why I had any interest to watching it. And then I lost interest before they actually showed up.
Wow, I do not remember that.
I remember them being, like I said, I don't remember seeing them in it, but I do remember them being in it because I don't know if you were familiar with the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where there was a scene towards the end when they're running through the studio and like Wes Craven shooting a Scream movie and like the monkeys in the ghost face costume. I think it was like an exchange, like, oh, they allowed them to be in this movie, so we'll allow him to be in this movie.
Okay.
So I don't remember them being in it, but I remember they're in it. So
So probably just like another walkthrough piece.
probably like in the background or something. So, but it says David Arquette, who has expressed interest in reprising the role of Dooley Riley several times in recent years, has been officially confirmed to star in the upcoming relaunch of Scream. It was announced today by Peter, president of production of Sky Glass Media Group. It says Arquette, of course, will be playing Dewey, or who played Dewey in all 4 Wes Craven Scream films. And this huge announcement 100% confirms that the new movie will be taking place in the same world. Says plot details are under wraps, but the film will be an original story co-written by James Vanderbilt from did Murder Mystery and Zodiac and Amazing Spider-Man, and Guy Busick, Ready or Not, or Castle Rock, with Project X Entertainment's Vanderbilt, Paul Newman, Neinstein, and William Sherrick producing for Skyglass. I know there's probably something behind me, but I don't care.
No, yeah, it's all news, dude. It has nothing like no. Your green screen is untouched. I just hearing the list is fucking killing me.
Okay. Says though Arquette is the first member of the film's ensemble to be officially announced, conversations are underway with other legacy cast members. So it sounds like he will not be the first, maybe, unless they all just say no.
I'm sure they all need a paycheck at this point.
Especially freaking David Arquette. What else has he got going on in his life?
Wrestling, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of surprised me. I saw a little bite on that, so.
I forgot about him and his pro wrestling little gig that he's got going on, even though, unfortunately, he is or was a former WCW heavyweight champion. I kind of forgot he went into the independent wrestling thing there. So, yeah, not very excited for a Scream relaunch or whatever they're doing right now. Like I said, I saw the first 2 films, was a fan of the first couple. Did not really, like I said, did not really see the third film, and I knew there was a 4th film, but don't remember anything from that. Where is my? There it is. So, but yeah, so yay, more Scream coming. Next news bit, we have a movie that is going to be coming out soon called Darkness Falls, which will be coming out on VOD June 12th. This film follows a family of serial killers that are on the loose. In the film, after his wife's suicide, Detective Jeff Anderson becomes convinced that she has been, in fact, murdered. Obsessed with the investigation, Anderson finds out that his wife was the victim of a team of father and son killers. He'll have to break the rules to stop the family from killing other women. Darkness Falls is written by Gilles Doust and is directed by Yulene Siri and stars Gary Gold, Richard Harmon, Daniela Alonso, Sonia Welger, and a couple other people that I cannot pronounce their name. But that will be coming out on June 12th, so in about 2 or 3 weeks. Because I think today is of May, I believe, the 21st.
Yeah.
So we got a couple weeks to that movie. Sounds interesting. I didn't actually get a chance to check the trailer out. So interested in seeing that. And then the last bit of news we have today is Doug Heffernan is killing people. And the new movie starring Kevin James with a beard, which is called Becky, and that will be released on June 5th. So It says King of Queens actor comedian Kevin James plays a villain for the very first time in Jonathan Milott and Carrie Merlin's thriller. And he'll be squaring off against the unlikely foe in Annabelle Creations' Lulu Wilson. Both actors appear on the poster. Becky has been rated R for strong bloody violence, grisly images, and language. The film sent
him as a bad guy.
Yeah, it does look pretty interesting. Like I said, I did catch the trailer. It does look pretty interesting. It says the film centers on a rebellious 14-year-old Becky as she's brought to a weekend getaway at the lake house by her father in an effort to reconnect after her mother's death. A lot of parents getting killed in this news bits here. The trip takes a turn for the worse when a group of convicts on the run, led by James, suddenly invades the lake house. Becky, not a daddy's little girl anymore, decides to take matters into her own hands. Okay. And this is supposed to be also has, what's his name? You don't know, because there was somebody else in this movie. I think it was Joel McHale.
Okay, that'd be kind of weird.
I thought that's who it was. Let me see. Yes, Joel McHale. He's also in this movie. Most likely probably plays Becky's Fasha. So,
I don't know. Just to see Kevin James do a bad guy, I'd fucking watch it.
Yeah, like I said, the trailer, I watched it a couple weeks ago, I believe, and looks pretty interesting. He I don't know, it's weird when James in a bad guy role. But you know, I mean, you can only be the funny guy so many times, and
right.
So
and if he could pull it off, I could actually see him doing more shit like that.
Yes. So, but that will be coming out on June 5th. So it should be another one in the next couple of weeks. So a couple of movies coming out, and unfortunately, another Scream movie is coming out. So that's what everybody gets to look forward to. So. Are we doing our game now, or are we doing it after later?
Oh, you should always start a show off with a drinking game, bro.
I said go for it, but okay. We're just conversing with the voices in our heads, so just bear with it. Okay, so if you guys don't remember, last week I think we did a lot of these things are just blending in together. Last week we did the fog. Jesus, I haven't even really drank yet, and I'm already. We did the fog, the 81 versus the 2005 6 when it came out. And in the original trailer, the fog was mentioned, we think, about 11 times. We thought it was going to be funny to do a drinking game, and every time we hear the word the fog mentioned in the trailer, we're going to take a shot. So we're going to do that.
I'm going to go in to try to review some
and then somehow try to go in to doing the Last House on the Left review. To make it easier for our producer, how about we do the original Last House on the Left review, and then we'll use the drinking game as a in between. We'll use the drinking game as like a in between things for everybody to digest of what we were talking about with the original Last House on the Left review.
That actually works for me because I'll need some fucking drinks after this one.
Yes. The original Last House on the Left was released in 1972. Yes. Actually, just pulled it off the top of my head. It is created by Wes Craven and Sean S. Cunningham. I think this was Wes Craven's first film, or at least first bigger film, to my knowledge. And I know this is an early film for Cunningham.
So much then.
Yeah. Cunningham went on to do the original Friday the 13th. and a couple other movies in that franchise. So you got the creator of Nightmare on Elm Street and the creator of Friday the 13th, even though these were before those both came out. Get them together, and what happens? A lot of stuff. I'm not really sure. Like, the one thing is I don't know how much I'm going to be able to talk about this because some of the topics may be against YouTube's policies. So we possibly might get.
We'll find some words for it.
So
We'll find some words for it.
anytime I'm going to use one common word for descriptions of things happening, I'm going to say assault when I describe how things happen. Instead of getting into what kind of assault, I'm just going to say assault. So that's going to be your pre-warning if you haven't seen the film already. If you've already seen the film, you already know where we're going. The film is about, I guess you would say it's about Mary. I would say she's the main character.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's kind of hard to.
The first one doesn't really. It's more split between her and her friend, but
I would say she's more the main character in the remake.
Yeah.
We'll get into why, but this film follows Mary and her friend Phyllis as they are going to a concert to celebrate Mary's birthday, I believe. And on the way back from the concert, they walk by some weirdos standing outside of a apartment building, asking them for some grass, which you do in the 70s because you just randomly ask people on the side of the road if they got some grass. Not shady whatsoever. First, he's kind of like, yeah, no, we don't. And I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, we do. Said person takes him up to the apartment. I think it's an apartment. I don't think it's a hotel. I don't remember in the original. I don't think it ever really states up what it is. Yeah.
Right.
So
they don't stay long enough for it to really matter.
Yeah. So we're brought up to the room, and recently 2 convicts escaped from prison, which is Krug and Weasel. And they were broken out by their accomplices Sadie and Junior. Junior being the person that the 2 girls came in contact with. Brought up to the room, and then we get Krug and Fred and them pretty much kidnapping the girls, closing the door, locking them in, not allowing them to leave. We then see the girls both assaulted in various ways up in the apartment. Next morning, the group tries to leave, or not tries to leave, but they leave because they're trying to, get out of town so that they're not caught because they just, like I said, just broke out of jail. On their way out, their car breaks down right next to a house, which ends up being Mary's parents' house. In the attempt to get something out of the trunk to try to fix the car, Krug opens the trunk. One of the girls, I believe it's Phyllis, bites Krug's hand and pisses him off. And then they proceed to take the girls into the woods. A lot of stuff happens in the woods. Like I said, I don't really want to get into
pretty much a lot more stretched out in time and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. Once Krug and the group are done kind of, assaulting the girls, Krug makes the comment, I need to go find something to kind of start a fire, chop some trees down. So he leaves to go to the car. In that instance, Phyllis makes an escape since one of the people are gone. So she was able to make an escape. The group, Weasel and Sadie, kind of try to chase her down to capture her again. Junior's got a hold of Mary. She's trying to, kind of like, let's go. My parents live right here. Let's just go. Like, we can help you, this and that. It's also indicated that Junior had been hooked on drugs by the group, mainly his father, Krug, to kind of, veer him to get him to side with Krug, Sadie, and Weasel. So Mary's kind of like, my parent, we can get you a fix. Let's go while they're gone. He's kind of refusing. Phyllis kind of almost sees the road, and she's like, oh, I'm clear. Tries to run a little bit more, and then boom, she runs right into Krug. He's got a big knife in his hand. Like I said, they should try to chop down some wood. Stops her, and then they proceed to stab Phyllis in the back and then in the stomach a few times to the point of disembowelment.
I'll say that was the first time you actually see gore in this one.
Yeah.
I dug the effects, man. I mean, because you look at the time period, you know, what they did with angles and what have you.
I have an interesting fact. Because I had the DVD, like I told you back in the day, I watched the documentary about the making of the movie, and I found out that that effect of her intestines being played around with ended up being peanut butter and jelly inside a latex glove. And the first
that's cool. It did not look like it.
The first time I heard that, I wanted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'll be honest with you. It was not.
Wow. All right, dude.
It was not that. I mean, I knew it wasn't real.
No, I know, but
so I myself a peanut butter sandwich.
The
mind's a weird thing sometimes, guys.
Yes, it is. All right.
So since I've grossed everybody out, we'll keep going on.
I liked it because by the time the movie's over, you don't really see a whole bunch of gore. You know, it was more of just kind of a small bit here and there. So the few bits that they did have, I thought was kind of cool. It wasn't like overboard, but it looked good.
Well, while this is going on, Mary's parents, I think it'd be Dr. John Collingwood and Estelle Collingwood. They had informed the local law enforcement that their daughter had gone. Police came to the house, to take the report and kind of be like, probably just teenager just wanting to get out, and she'll show up in a couple of days, blah, 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 blah. He was eating a cake, which looked delicious. The officers leave, and they're just like, oh, there's a broken down car right here. Should we investigate? No, we got more things to do. We got to go find this missing girl. This is the biggest thing that I didn't like. I hated the cops. They were so dumb.
The characters in the whole movie were just weird to me, because they were so super serious with the subject matter, and the bad guys are like fucking crazy cool. They pulled off crazy really well, but then all of a sudden you get like this comic relief from the cops, and like that just kind of fucked me up.
Which I understand, especially because of the subject matter. Comic relief may have been necessary, but not to the extent.
Right. Like, it was just so fucking... It was, like, cheesy funny.
Yeah, they overdid it a little bit.
And it was definitely the cops, because anytime you saw them, it was just to have, like, another fucking poke at them or another fucking stupid joke.
And yeah.
The movie runs so slow, it's like, all right, well, oh, fuck, here come the cops again. Like, it was just kind of the cops were definitely something I didn't really like about the fucking movie.
Yeah. So Mary's trying to get Junior to, let's go to my parents' house. Let's get away from them. So they kind of start to go. And then as soon as they kind of start to go, Krug and the group returns. Krug assaults Mary yet again. And after this, she gets dressed and just kind of like walks. She's gone. She's been through a ton of shit, and she just gets up and just pretty much walks to like a lake nearby. The Krug and the group kind of follow her. She goes into the lake, and then Krug pulls out a gun, boom, shoots her. Mary's killed. So both of our victims are killed in the woods. After that's done, Krug and the gang, they go to Mary's parents' house, since it's right next to where their car's broken down. And they pretty much say that they're on a business trip and that their car broke down, and they were going to try to call for a tow truck, but they couldn't get a hold of them. I don't remember they cut the phone line, I think. Weasel cut the phone line from what I remembered. So they couldn't call out. So family offers to let the group stay at the house till morning so they can go out and try to get a hold of somebody to come to get their car. Um, while this is happening later on in the evening, Junior starts feeling sick because he hasn't had his fix in a while. Keeps telling Krug he needs his fix, he needs his fix. Krug just kind of keeps pushing it off. Junior is throwing up in the bathroom. Estelle comes and, are you okay and everything? He's like, yeah. Takes him to where the room the Krug and all them are staying in, and then because they had 2 rooms for the crew to stay in. Estelle goes into the room that nobody's in. There's a bag there. She kind of opens up the bag and she sees all the bloody clothes. They change clothes after, because when they stabbed Phyllis multiple times, they all had blood all over them. So they had to wash off in the lake and change clothes. So Estelle notices the bloody clothes in the bag, and she kind of overhears Krug saying something to Junior about, well, we'll leave you in the woods just like the others. So she was kind of, putting 2 to 2 together. They go out into the woods, her and her husband, and they find Mary's body. And they come to the conclusion, obviously, that Krug, Weasel, Sadie, and Junior had something to do with it. After that, the parents want to get their revenge.
Okay, and here's where, the movie we find out these guys may have just killed our kid, and the dad starts pulling off some weird-ass Home Alone bullshit.
Oh, yeah. That was so great.
I mean, short from the fucking paint cans and shit, he just starts rigging up his fucking house. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
That's the first thing I said when I was watching. I'm like, I'm so making a Home Alone thing.
Right.
He was putting shaving cream on the ground to make him slip or something like that. And
yeah. Fucking rigged the carpet with the outlet and shit. I gave the carpet and the outlet. That one was cool. But the shaving cream and taking the handle off the window, I'm like, okay, dude, you don't have all fucking night. Could have just walked in there and started shanking people. This would have been done in 10 fucking minutes. But no, let's start rearranging the fucking house.
Yeah,
I gotta say, dude, I don't know, man. Now finding out that this was kind of maybe one of his first films, I feel a lot better. Between the music was just weird. It was a mix of this kind of the shit you hear when you're trying to build a little drama in a scene, mixed to I was kind of expecting a fucking circus to come through the next scene.
Yeah, especially when the cops came around, it was really kind of goofy music.
I'm kind of staying in the film because of
Yay! Sorry for the slight delay or whatever just happened. We were there, but then we were gone, but we're back. OBS shut down. So, but we're back. So, we'll round up the end here. We start, first person to bite it was Weasel in a very weaselly way.
Okay. And that in itself was just
the mom kind of almost starts hitting on Weasel
with this movie,
and she kind of is she's talking about how she has some kind of fantasy where she wants to do it with a guy with his arms tied behind his back or something like that.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'll do it, and then she's like, no, not here. We'll go outside because that's normal. And so she takes Weasel outside, uses his tie to tie his hands behind his back, and proceeds to bite on his penis, and pretty much leaves him to bleed to death because he can't do anything about it because his hands are tied behind his back. That's the last we see Weasel.
I was all like, oh, dude, she's smart. She's taking him out there. Ain't nobody could hear him. Oh, she's actually going to drop to her. Okay. This movie was just so fucking weird, dude, and not in good ways.
No. So Weasel's gone. We go back in. The father ends up, I think he shoots Sadie, I believe, in the bathroom. Or am I thinking of the remake?
You're thinking of the remake.
God damn it! But I don't remember what happens to Sadie.
It was just a one-on-one. It all took out in the living room. He got the one shot and blast off and clipped what's his nut in the shoulder.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
And then
that happens when you watch these movies back to back. They blend in together, and even though they're very different, but they're similar in a way, especially when they're getting killed. So Sadie gets killed, and then Krug's got the wound in the shoulder. He's having the standoff with the doc. He almost actually gets ready to put the doc out, but then we hear a little bit. We hear Junior standing behind Krug with a gun, looking like he's going to shoot him. Krug is pretty much like, "Come on, do it! Come on, do it!" And he's like, "No." He's trying to egg him on. And then he just pretty much says,
Remake.
"Turn the gun around him." No, is it? He does that in the.
Yeah. He told the kid to kill himself.
Okay.
On. He finally did.
Okay, for some reason I thought he was gonna try to, because he was pointing the gun at him first.
Yeah, but then when the dude turned around,
damn stupid fucking remake versus original, getting everything all mixed up. Well, in the end, Junior ends up shooting himself in the head after being told by Krug multiple times. Junior takes his own life. Yeah. So the last guy we got left is Krug, because while he's distracted with Junior, the doc comes out and Mary's mother come out, and they both pretty much, I believe, double team Krug. I think, or am I probably thinking about the remake again?
The original, the doc. The original, the doc and old boy have that fight with the chainsaw. The wife and the crazy when they're outside throwing down.
That's right. It was a chainsaw. And he ends up getting chainsawed right before right as soon as the police officers show up, and they kind of like, what the fuck happened here? Because the police officers, a little bit out of line, heard over their scanners that the crew had been seen around their area with the car, and they're like, "That was the car we saw outside the Baron's house. Oh my god, we gotta go."
I tell you, they were just fucking retarded.
Yeah. So they make it to the house too late. Crew and Krug are all massacred throughout different portions of the house, and then the movie just ends.
It's funny because like a lot of the old movies just did that shit, like bad guys are defeated or whatever. Credits. Like there's just a hard stop in those old films.
Just kind of like how with The Hills Have Eyes, the original, another Wes Craven film, where homeboy's like killing the dude and it just turns red and the movie ends.
Nowadays you get a little bit more of like the camera pans back slowly or some shit. It's, oh shit, hour and 5 minutes, cut, and like that shit's over.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's about it for the original Last House on the Left. Not a movie that's going to be, like I said, very rewatchable. Unless you like that kind of stuff, then more power to you. But I'd say it's probably maybe worth one watch, and then you should be good for.
I mean, like if you just feel like whipping yourself for like no good reason, you could sit through it. But
yeah. So, flagellating. I like that word. But before we move on, we'll go ahead and go to the trailer of The Last House on the Left. Remember, to avoid fainting, remember, it's only a movie.
Marie and her friend.
I feel like a woman for the first time in my life.
Two girls from the suburbs going to the city to have a good time.
Oh, this is my roommate, Sam.
Hi, girls.
This is my sister, Martha. Martha, these girls, want to buy some grass.
4 killers on the loose, also looking for a good time.
And the road leads to nowhere.
They meet in the last house on the left. What began as a birthday party ends as a nightmare.
I want to give you something.
I don't want that.
It's worth a lot.
I don't want
See? I want to be your friend.
No, you want to get free.
I want to be your friend. Are you all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine.
Just what did happen in the last house on the left? Dr. Collingwood lived there.
Are you sure we're not going to put you folks to any trouble? Oh, nonsense. Our home is yours.
His wife lived there.
I've always dreamed of a man who could take me easily.
So did their daughter, Marie. They all lived there.
Junior.
To avoid fainting, keep repeating to yourself, it's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie. Last house on the left.
And we're back. That was The Last House on the Left. I feel like a radio DJ. That was Last House on the Left by Wes Craven. It was a great tune. Came out in 1971, and we're going to move on to drinking time. You guys ready? Are you guys ready?
Been ready. Katie's ready. She's even got Pringles.
Wait, she got Pringles? She can't chug
I know,
Pringles.
right?
Cannot chug Pringles.
Oh, see, there you go. Take a bite. Take a shot.
So, okay.
I'm ready to do this.
How do we, like, do we have to have our... Are they able to hear you or no? Because we're just staring at the camera if we're not. Okay. So we're listening to the rules from our producer right now. So if you just see us staring at the camera, that's why. Because we're trying to figure out how we're all going to be able to do this. Ignore the trailer for the minute. Our producer is just trying to fudge with some things. Yes, Captain Fudgy Pants.
Captain Fudgy Pants is slowing my drinking down, so
yeah. I got a couple of good old American beers next to me. I got good old Captain.
Now
Captain
it has
Fudgy Pants.
returned.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay. Yeah, that's true. If the fog doesn't get mentioned 11 times, then we know it's not the right trailer.
No, it's drink for both trailers. I did when it was planned.
Okay. Our producer is going to join us. He's going to take some smokes instead of chugs because he is alcohol not by him. So... All right, I got to pour myself a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Been waiting for this one.
I'm going to do one shot of my special juice here, and then I'm going to chug a couple beers just because I have to pirate the show. So if one of us, if we're both off the rails, then at least one of us is semi off the rails. So we're ready. 3, 2, 1.
John Carpenter.
Let's go.
The Fog.
This is KB Antonio Bay. Stevie Wayne here, and let me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday. We're 100 years old today, and keep a watch out for that fog bank heading in from the east.
100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unknown came out of the fog. Now it has returned.
Great Jesus.
100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unnatural came out of the fog. Now it has returned. 100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something evil came out of the fog. Now it has returned.
Who's there? Shit. The
fog.
Antonio Bay has a curse on it.
We're
all cursed.
Oh, fuck, man.
There's no water getting here, but something awful cold.
I think I'll go to Vancouver now.
Where's the fog now?
It should be right outside my door now.
Oh, there's something different about this fog. Dan, stay away from the door! Someone listen to me!
Shit, goddammit.
Get inside and lock your doors. Close your windows. There's something in the fog. Stay away from the fog.
Leaking.
From the creator of Halloween, the ultimate experience in terror and suspense. John Carpenter's The Fog, starring Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, John Houseman, Janet Leigh as Kathy Williams, and Hal Holbrook as Father Malone. The Fog. What you can't see won't hurt you. It will kill you.
What? Shit.
Between midnight and 1, it will find you. John Carpenter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
Okay, that actually kind of got messy.
Yeah, I got liquids everywhere.
Yep.
That was fun.
Keyboard.
I've got liquids in place and beard for later. Oh boy. Oh, I hope we.
No,
I hope we
movie.
I hope we never do that again. Had a lot. Had a lot of different things there. It's Captain. It's some Miller Lite. No, I got the hiccups. Oh God, I'm dying.
Oh. Hey, Buzz. Katie says, I can't chug Pringles. Don't tell me my life mission. Oh, so
I am the host of this show. I will tell you what to do. I want to finish this beer.
All right. Last house on the left.
Okay, last house on the left. Part 2. Or wait. No, it's not part 2. It's the
remake.
Remake came out. Okay. So let's get back on the tracks if we can here. Ooh. Last.
All right, Last House on the Left. The remake came out in 2009. Oh wow.
There's a lot of. We're professionals, everybody. Last House on the Left remake came out in 2009. We got a pretty big person in this movie, Aaron Paul. This was kind of before Breaking Bad. Yes, before Burr.
I'll take your word for it, dude. I still haven't seen Breaking Bad.
I watched it, and I just don't remember when it came out. But we'll just say Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul was in this movie.
See, and I dug Garrett Dillahunt, main bad guy.
Yeah, he did well.
I dig him as an actor. He's fucking cool. I will say I liked this one a lot better than the first one. The story felt a little bit more solid.
Yeah, it felt more like an actual movie because that was the thing with the original is like it almost didn't feel like it was a movie. It felt like you were watching, which was like the style of like the 70s and stuff like that, where the movies looked like you were watching like a snuff film, pretty much. So this one obviously was more more theatric in its attempts. But the thing with the remake is they, excuse me, they changed quite a bit, I believe. They changed some characters' names. They changed a lot of the background of the story. Just mainly the only thing that really connects it is you got 4 people who kidnap 2 girls and they're stop at their parents' house after they killed them. That's pretty much.
Well, I mean, yeah, no. I mean, because like they're still like their intro to the bad people still about pot. They just ran into the kid, in a different way. They thought they were going to have fun. The kid was trying to have fun, and then like the dad and everybody came back to the hotel, and that's when shit goes south. So I mean, a lot of it, they gave the girl Mary a little bit more backstory. She's lost it at some point.
Yeah,
they never really delved into it, but it was more of like the tie into the necklace, because in the first film it was just like those little piece necklace that anybody could have owned. This one was a more dedicated, like when you look at it, for a fact this was Mary's necklace kind of thing. It was given to her by her brother, and this one she's a swimmer, so it's like always go for the gold kind of thing. And it's little things like that. They kind of sharpened a lot of the edges story-wise in this one and made everything a little bit smoother and like kind of flow together a little bit more.
Yeah, they added a little bit more depth from what the original kind of lacked. Didn't really give you much to the story besides a couple of pieces here and there. It ends up being like the Mary's parents. It ends up being their like cabin or something, because it's not their actual house. They end up living in the city, and they're just heading to their house, their like summer house for the summer. Excuse me, sorry, I'm still recovering from the beers. Got the hiccups. So yeah, they head up to their summer house. Mary wants to meet up with a friend of hers named Paige, which like I said, this one right here. This one we already got a little bit of a change here because it's not Phyllis, it's Paige, which is her friend. She meets up with her friend at the convenience store that she works at, and then we see Justin, who's the junior character in this version. He's buying some stuff. He wants to buy some cigarettes. He's kind of like, I need to see ID. He doesn't have ID. And he's like, well, in exchange for you letting me buy these cigarettes, I'll get you some primo grass. So that's what ends up happening. She sells him the cigarettes. They head back to their hotel room. Do you need a couple minutes?
No, I'm trying to see if my keyboard still works.
Okay.
Giving it a second to like dry out.
They end up going to the hotel that they're staying at. One thing before I get too far is in the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Krug. He's actually had been arrested, and he's actually in the back of a police car, pretty much probably on his way to jail. The 2 cops that had picked him up, they stop at a train, so they have to wait for the train to go by. But while they're sitting there, a truck comes out of nowhere, sideswipes them. A couple of people that were in the truck end up popping out. Ends up being Sadie and Francis, which is the Weasel character. Like I said, they changed the names to a lot of people in this movie,
which I'm glad, because it just Weasel.
Yeah. So they hit the thing. They hop out. They kill both police officers, and they rescue Krug. So back to where we were.
And this one's a lot fucking gorier, because that truck hit right there. Those 2 cops got really
and that scene that was like when the 1 second cop that gets killed, Sadie's like he's like it looks like he's dying. I wonder what he sees, and like Krug grabs the pictures of his 2 kids and like shoves it like in his face, and he's like, "You're never gonna see them again." I was like, "Holy son of a bitch!"
Like this one definitely like amped up the brutal side of the film. You know, it unfortunately like it ran slow, but in that same sense, like they used it to really showcase just how fucked up these people were and stuff like that. Towards the other one, you
Yeah.
just kind of had to like watch their actions and you just assume. But this one, they're like they straight up show you like this dude's fucked up, she's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So Mary and Paige end up going back to the hotel to get their primo grass, and Paige goes in with Justin. Mary stays out in the car for a couple minutes because they think they're just gonna, get the stuff and leave. Paige doesn't come out for a while, so Mary goes to investigate. She sees Paige and Justin kind of laying on the bed smoking. So she ends up going in. They all partake and start having a good old time. And then shit hits the fan when Krug, Francis, and Sadie show up, and we get pretty much what happens. They do the same thing. They kind of lock the doors. Paige tries to make the run for it out the window, but is caught by Francis. Slams her head up against the wall, or actually, I think it's up against the sink. I think. Yeah,
and that was another noticeable change because in the original, Mary was like the weaker of the two, and the friend was the one that was, "Hey, I'm gonna make a fucking run for it. I'll take him with me."
Yeah, because Phyllis was like the older of the two,
right? But
which I think she might be here too. So I don't know for sure how old. They don't really indicate how old Paige is.
Yeah. But in the remake, Mary now is the stronger of the two. She's trying to calm her friend down. She's trying to like handle the situation. And, obviously her friend doesn't listen. She eats the side of a sink. But Mary, even through all of this, is still kind of okay.
She's definitely the calm presence. She knows like them panicking is gonna get them killed with it. I mean, they're gonna get killed regardless, but so they go
subtle changes in that,
Yeah, so they go to make their getaway. They end up taking Mary's truck. She's using her parents' car because she went to go visit Paige. They end up using her car to make their getaway. They're trying to find the highway to make their way out of state. And Mary kind of is like, well, like I grew up here. I know where everything's at. Go left. This will take you to the highway. They go to do that, and then they end up what Mary's doing is trying to get them close to her parents, the summer house. Mary ends up going into action and uses this little cigarette lighter thing, burns Sadie in the face, and which causes Krug to kind of turn around, try to stop things. They end up crashing the truck.
Dude, that was brutal. I'm surprised anybody fucking made that shit.
Yeah,
like, they
Francis
took a whole minute or two to watch that thing just bank off trees left and right.
Exactly. And Francis ended up breaking.
You never realize how many 11 shots are until you have to take that shit back to back. Shake the shit. Just gonna put that out because I've been thinking about that for a second.
I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was going to be. I had to keep refilling, and I just kept hearing drink. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh yeah, no! I went out and got the little like the solo cups that you use. They make little fucking shot ones. Yeah, I was prepped because I didn't want to have to keep pouring. I knew I was going to fuck that up.
As a responsible adult, I'm using a medicine cup that you normally take your NyQuil with. That's all I had. So I had about 30 milliliters every time. I don't know. So yeah. So back to the story. Or back to the movie. Truck gets flipped over multiple times. Francis has got a broken nose when he emerges from it. He's pissed.
But
he ends up
out of all of that, a broken nose. Those were some lucky motherfuckers.
Yeah. He gets upset. Gives Mary and them a couple of good old boots to the midsection to kind of, show them who's boss and pay back.
It's about the cigarette lighter.
Yeah. She's like, the scar.
Like, that showed her crazy because after, like, almost dying in the wreck, she's more like, this is going to scar, bitch.
Exactly. We kind of get, like, somewhat similar, like, altercation in the woods. The girls get, beat up, assaulted. Paige ends up trying to make a run. Okay. Geez, we got a lot more movie to go.
Not really.
Okay. Tries to make a run for it. She gets stopped. She gets stabbed multiple times. She gets killed. Mary is... Krug tells his son, Justin, that, you need to be a man, da-da-da. She's here. Do what you will with her. He refuses, so Krug decides to do it. After that, Mary kind of gets away. She hops into the lake, like you said, she was a swimmer. She tried to swim away. Krug has the gun, he's shooting at her, shoots Mary in the shoulder. We think Mary's dead. Cut to the house where Mary's parents are at, which is John and Emma Collingwood are the name of the parents. Okay. So the group end up showing up at the doorstep. You're like, hey, there was an accident. And then pretty much we get, John, Mary's dad's trying to fix Francis's nose, gets his nose fixed. Power ends up going out because lightning strikes the thing. There's that necklace that you talk about. Mary's mom finds the necklace over by like a cup on the counter, and she kind of like, hey, the kid had the necklace, they kind of think, and then Mary, okay, so I'm kind of getting all disheveled because I was kind of told to finish up. Mary ends up showing up at the house. She's not dead. Okay, so we're going to cut to the trailer and we're going to finish up.
Are we there yet?
We are making the turn now.
It's the last house on the left, in case you forgot.
It is the only house for miles, Dad.
Do you guys need the car today? I was thinking I could meet up with Paige.
Have fun.
I don't think we've met. I'm Paige. This is Mary.
Hey.
What do you feel like doing tonight? I think Justin here could be kind of cute.
Evening. You knew not to bring anybody back here.
We made the front page. That's what's going on.
This is none of our business.
I'm sorry, ladies.
Oh my God!
We just can't risk it.
Oh no!
These are two lovely girls, Justin.
Bring her back!
You got her. Now what? I saw a house back there. Despite our car trouble,
We're actually pretty lucky today. Seeing your house.
There's only one problem.
Our daughter won't have the car back till tomorrow morning.
You should probably just sleep here tonight.
We have a guest house.
Did you hear that?
Mary!
She's been shot. Can you tell us who did this to you?
What are we gonna do? We don't have a car. The phones are dead and they're still here.
Which means we're gonna be ready to do anything.
It reminds me of a warm, safe place where I sit shine the heart and pray for the thunder and the rain. While the clouds go by. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine.
you want to hear what I did to your daughter?
I want to hear you beg for your life.
What is this? I can't move.
You're paralyzed from the neck down. I didn't have any rope or duct tape.
We're back. That was the trailer for the 2009 version of Last House on the Left. Sorry, we're a little bit disheveled. We just had some drinks before, so the train of thought was a bit kind of. So we'll get into finishing off the review here, and then we'll close out the episode. So Mary's mom sees the necklace, and after Mary returns, she's like, the kid put this here. We kind of think, I think these people, had something to do with her being shot. So pretty much once Mary's mom and dad figure out that these people are pretty much the ones that did this to their daughter, they go and they take their revenge.
But do it better than the first with that whole like bullshit Home Alone. Like this was, I'm about to go fuck some people up kind of shit.
Yeah, Mary's dad goes out to like the shed to go find some tools to beat the shit out of some people, and Francis ends up showing up in the kitchen with Mary's mom. He's like, the storm woke me up. I need a drink. She gets him a drink. She bops him over the head with the bottle. Mary's dad ends up showing back up, and they proceed to shove his hand down the garbage disposal. And then they drowned him in water, a sink full of water. So, bye-bye, Francis.
That was brutal. Yeah. Holy shit.
They re-broke the nose that he fixed to kind of, get him sidetracked.
Right. So was definitely the better of the two when it came to, like, the fight scenes and the storyline, like, by far.
Yeah. Sadie ends up getting shot in the bathroom by the dad because I guess I mixed that up with the original because I got them mixed up. Then Justin just ends up showing up places, but he doesn't like do anything. He gives the parents, Mary's parents, the gun.
But though, I kind of dug that because they really did characters good in this one. Yeah, here's this kid that's been beaten down. He sees all the fucking bad shit that they do. He wants to do shit, but he can't. He's afraid.
Yeah.
And so I thought they really did an awesome deal with his character.
And once he sees like a couple of the people are, disposed of, he kind of sticks up maybe for himself a little bit more because it's only just his dad left. He trying to remember. They end up okay. So I'm trying to remember the gun situations. He tries to shoot Krug, right?
Junior.
Yeah.
This one they actually drug it out. The fight between the dad and what did you say, Kruger? That actually goes on for a few. Kruger gets the upper hand, and Justin finally goes to step up.
That's right.
But still can't cross that threshold because we find out that Junior means like this is my son, and so he's sitting there holding that gun to his dad, and even though he wants to, he still can't quite cross that threshold. And then we find out just how fucked up dad is because he can cross that threshold. But that gives the daughter's dad enough time to get the upper hand.
So they kind of beat him with I think they use like the fire poker, I believe, and they kind of knock out Krug. Mary's parents, Mary and Justin, go make like a getaway on their boat, and then we go back and we see Krug laying there. He's like, I can't like feel my legs or anything, and the dad's like, well, you're paralyzed from the neck down. And then Mary's dad proceeds to put his head in the microwaver and blows his fucking head up.
I was like,
I was like, holy
shit.
And I liked how they kind of, in a way, referenced somewhat, where like towards the beginning where they're like, this microwaver hasn't worked since your brother's been here. And I was like, I kind of like how they used there's a little bit of a callback to the beginning of the movie where they're kind of like, it's something you wouldn't think of until the very end. We see his head get blown up in the microwaver. Yes. So it's a rule of filmmaking. You should use something unless you have the intent to use it.
Which unfortunately not every movie does. So it was kind of really cool to see them bring that back and actually fucking do it. And as far as special effects, like it looked fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
I also liked the way they shot it because it was that whole like everything's over, but then we kind of go back to the house for a second, see that, and then we get to see everybody kind of ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. This one has a little bit more of a happier ending, I guess, if you could say there's a happy ending to any of this. But this one obviously has that because really only Paige dies. And to be honest with you, Paige was a bitch, so she deserved it. So
she annoyed me. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was about her. But no, this by far was such a better movie. You know, just the way they filmed it, character, like everything was so fucking much better than the original. And I hate to say that because I really don't want to support remakes, but in this one, like, dude, it was so fucking much better.
This one did exactly what remakes should do. You take the central story and it's there, but you build more to it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes, dude. Yeah.
And that's when we look at the couple that we've done so far. The Fog kind of did it, but did it in the wrong way.
Right.
Because it went a little bit too outrageous. Hills Have Eyes, I think, did it exactly where this remake did, where it did enough to where it didn't completely change the whole movie, but it took your story and expanded on it, gave us a couple of new things. Because it's like, if you're not going to do that, then you could just watch the original.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I'm going to sit here and you're going to do a carbon copy of the original, then I can just watch the original.
But this one, they expanded on characters, stories, it was fucking brilliant.
They added their own elements. They added a little bit of backstory. They did what a remake needs to do, and that's kind of what we're doing with this little series is, trying to figure out which remake was worth, being done, and which ones did it the right way, and which ones just, tried to either remake it to where it's like a carbon copy of the original, or they just went too far off from the original content and just made it almost like a completely different movie, kind of like how The Fog did.
Right. And not in a good way.
But that should do it about for today's episode. Tomorrow, I don't know if we're doing anything tomorrow, or if we are, I don't know what we're doing. Okay, we will be with you guys tomorrow, but you will be just as surprised as we are is what we're talking about. Because I don't know, and we'll find out later. So you'll be able to join us tomorrow. We do not have a new episode of GoreCast on American Horrors this Sunday. That's because this Monday, Johnny and the Giz will be having American Horrors will be having the Memorial Day special, and Johnny and the Giz have an exclusive interview with Hart D. Fisher, the man in charge of American Horrors. Is there a time that's going to be on, Johnny? Okay. So we think it's going to... Yeah, we're not 100% sure about the time. It might be around 8:30 p.m. CST, but just keep an eye on the socials for the GoreCast, and we'll definitely keep you up to date there. I think that's about it. Anything closing, Carter?
Well, Katie kind of makes a point. Some remakes can shine, but a majority suck. To me, the original in terms of the storylines win over remake storylines. I don't feel like you can fully appreciate the remake if you haven't seen the original. And she makes a good point. Like you can't really compare anything without that. But I also want to tell her, thank you for chugging your Pringles with us.
Yes.
So,
kind of upset that I didn't get any Pringles, but that's here nor there.
Me.
But we don't have any trailer to play out tonight, so we shall see you guys tomorrow. Same GoreCast time, same GoreCast channel. Goodbye. Goodbye.